Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Friday. Friday's the day of the week we turn to the BonBon buddies over on Patreon and say, hey guys, vote us in a map. And they didn't go with this one. No, this is the map we're going to be reviewing. The map they went for was this one. Now, it only dawned on me once they voted for it that actually it's not a map, it's a save game. And by starting to do save games, even if it's a map as a save game, we're opening a real can of worms. So I'm not going to be playing that game today. So sorry EJS Vegas, I know this is a creator request. We won't be reviewing it because this is a map review show, even if it's a map as a save game. Instead, we'll be doing this map, that's right, which came in second place. But what would come in first place if you click the like button hard enough? Well, that would be me. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Everybody clicks the like button. This video will go viral. Can you believe that? Let's do it. Today's map is Littlevalley by Angel 2208 or Angel 2208 or yeah, no, I'm going Angel 2208, and if that's wrong, I'm sorry Angel, that's how I'm going about it. Your start square looks like that. If you fancy doing the field buying routine of like breaking up your grid city, that would be a great way of playing that. And then your terrain heights are very interesting for a very interesting reason. We will get to that a little bit later. The resources, a little bit of field painting, a little bit offshore stuff as well. I would say that's kind of usable. Yeah, I'm no grumbles with that. And then if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, your fishing map looks like that. Off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, no DLC is required today, so that's a plus. And then we've got a few things to subscribe to, including Network Extensions 2, which is working perfectly fine for me. I don't know why people are having trouble, but hey ho. We'll be using the Not So Rocky Hills map theme and the realistic 1.2 LUT. Now, this map does have a slightly unusual look to it, which I'm sure you've already spotted, and you may already have spotted on the workshop description there was talk of the World Engine, which is a, well, it's a software which will create landscapes for you, which you can then import into Cities Skylines and play about with. Now, a World Engine is very good at what it does. It does lack, of course, that human eye, that geological understanding of what looks right and what doesn't look right. What we've got here is a very interesting shape, and it is actually a very nice, interesting shape. We've got some very interesting looking, I'm going to call them mountains. They are mountains. They are way too big to be hills, but very, very interesting mountains going on with lots of really good erosion on them. But they are really odd shaped. I don't know. I know these things are called different things all over the world. We call them wood lice. I think they're called pill bugs or something like that in parts of the world. But yeah, they kind of have a pill bug or wood louse kind of shape to them. Good looking intersection, really slick, smooth intersection there. And I think the heights of the roads there, although a little bit higher than realism, I think on this map it works really well to be just a little higher than realism, given the vastness of it and of course the crazy hills that we have. We've got some pretty good standards of detailing on today's map in terms of, I mean, the basics are all there. And I think just a little bit of time has been spent just thinking about how to lay out the map to get it looking at its best. And I think it's a pretty decent job being done by the creator. But yes, so the World Engine, which has given us 4 very iconic shaped hills. I think that's probably the politest way I can have of putting it, complete with lots of flat land in between. And again, an interesting shape, a river and lake system, which I would say just needs a bit of polish, just a bit of polish to bring it up to standards. In terms of trees on the road, not too many on this map. That one there you would have spotted without me even pointing it out. And yeah, it's pretty clean, Alright, this has got our blue mantle. Yep, there you go, that has blue mantle. And I've got to remember, I have at some point, I'm going to make an ad to put into the intermission for the blue mantle tutorial. Yes, we've got a really good Blue Mantle tutorial that will give you several ways of preventing that from happening if you're making a map yourself, or even in your own city builds. Little solutions. So if one doesn't work for you, you can go with one of the others. It's fine. It's always good to have multiple tools actually in your backpack. Backpack. Right. What was that? That was Dora the Explorer, wasn't it? Ah, dear oh me. How has that crept into my head? Right, anyway, carrying on. A big old bridge. Everybody loves a big old bridge. This one crosses across the environment with a little bit of, again, the trees just clipping through the underside there. But mostly good. We haven't certainly haven't seen any trees planted in the road. Oh, take it back. Not typical. The moment you say something like that, you find one. We're looping back now towards the start square. The start square is strong. I've got no complaints with the start square really. Start square is strong and the route running through to it is strong. And we've got a big old bridge there and that's strong as well. As long as we don't have a shipping route running through that, we will be good. What do you think? What do you think? I know what you're thinking. No, why would BonBonB have said that if there wasn't a shipping route running through that bridge? Well, why would he indeed? Perhaps he's just stirring. Perhaps he is. Could be. Anyway, yeah, so heading down towards the start square. Next intersection we come to will be the start square intersection. And like I say, absolutely fine. Loads of buildable space here. And a pretty strong intersection to boot. Nothing really to moan about with that. It's just loops and tweaks and twibbles. I'm sure you'll get it to work in a way that really works for you. Okay, because I wouldn't have the intersection like that myself. But hey, once you've got the city building going, and you've got a little bit of income, if you're playing this vanilla rules, i.e. the 9-tile rule, with limited money and all that sort of stuff, this is a great map for that. And once you've got enough money put aside, you can actually upgrade that bridge into something that I think is more befitting. Again, it's a personal taste thing. I don't hate the intersection. This is another good sweeping wishbone style intersection there, and again, there's plenty of good sweeping road layouts on the map. But yes, the world engine, I haven't really looked into it that much. We've had a couple of maps on here. One of them was really weird. I don't remember the name of the map now, but it was really weird. It was good to see. I'm going to say it was good to see. And the world engine does produce some very interesting effects if you understand how to use it, even if you've got it, I guess. I'm still a big fan of a decent terrain height map that is being reworked and cleaned up. And yeah, even if it's been put through Photoshop so that you can bring in mountains. That's something that, like, for one of the many creators that have done it. But yeah, Kanye certainly did that with mountains. They would copy and paste some really nice mountains multiple times on the same map, but in different angles, and people wouldn't even notice. Some did, some mentioned it, but most people wouldn't have noticed it. I certainly didn't until it was pointed out, and hang on a minute. That's a bit cheeky. Catenary Chaos. We have a little bit of very light Catenary Chaos right here with the catenaries on the lines right there and there. We go up the other side. Is very close over here, and you probably would have a bit of scraping of the rail carriages on the catenaries here, but they're not actually on the lines, so I think we'll let that go. Suspension of disbelief is what it's all about, yeah? Or is it about city building? Or is it about water flow? Or should we go back and watch the train? No, I don't care enough either. You're quite right. You are quite right. Let's just head off towards the edge of the map. Because the second half of this show, we'll have a little look at these mountains, which definitely to me look like woodlouses. It's got to be woodlice, isn't it? Yeah, they definitely look like woodlice, although obviously a lot deeper, because they're quite a flat type of things. What do you call them in your part of the world? I'm sure I've heard them called pillbugs before. The rail here just drops in and up a little bit. I'd rather have seen the road go over it or the road go under it than the rail make the adjustments there. Again, it's very subtle, very gentle, and not the world's biggest problem. I'd be quite happy to just let that go on this particular map. Anyway, heading off towards the edge of the map, we'll come back to check out the shipping and see whether it actually does go through that really low bridge. Place your bets now.
Are you confused by all those buttons running along the top and bottom of the screen? And what was that icon for again? Does anyone know? Then you need BonBonB's Beginner's Guide to the User Interface. Click the information button now.
And so back to Littlevalley by Angel 2208. And the shipping routes. Yes, we have a strong shipping route that follows the coast, a decent way away from the coast. Credit for that. And past the river mouth without a single route going up into the river mouth. So no worrying about that low bridge. How did you go with that bet? The air routes, we do actually have an air route that loops around the entire map on the outside. So nothing running across the middle of the map, and connections to the outside as well. So you'll see planes in the distance flying on their merry way. Water flow, we have rivers, but they're not really operational rivers. In fact, there's very little movement in said rivers. You can see there's a spawn point there, which is why we've got a little bit of extra depth and a little bit of splash on either side, but going through the start square there's no motion. However, this is also in the start square, so you could draw from one and pump into the other, and that makes it workable. It does make it pretty, but it does make it workable. Now let's have a look at the wood lice. This one's a little bit different. It's longer, and it does have this extra gully that it's quite deep running up the middle of it. It comes down literally in the weirdest place down the middle of it. It's a really unconventional shape hill here. The erosion looks very nice indeed, but it's just a weird shape. It's just a weird shape. We got three more of them. We got this one over here, which is a bit pointier, a little bit pointier. One in the corner is a little bit dumpier. Again, it's got some really nice erosion, and they don't really work together. They're not actually working in any geological formation that would make any kind of sense. And then over here, one off on the island. So yes, I'd like to see a little bit of geology in action. Down here on this island, we've got a couple of trees, one there, and there's one around the corner which are just in the water. But I think this would have been a really good, especially this island over here, been a really good place to have some sand, some beaches. Maybe these islands over here, there's another one in the water there. Maybe these islands over here could have been sandbanks. Have we got time? Should I do a quick sand over? I think we'll do a quick sand over. This is not a polished job, okay? This is not. Don't get excited about this. This is going to be a quick brush over, just to see roughly how it would have looked had we gone with this one, and just to give you an idea of whether maybe it's something you might want to do if you come and take on the map. So we'll just polish that into about there. Yeah, that's enough. So yeah, I mean it needs more work, but I still think at least some beaches down there would have added. Then the field painting is fine. The fields on the end there are probably arable for cows and stuff, because they're going to be a bit steep for ploughing. And over here, these look pretty strong as well. I think I think that works, and I think there's credit to be given for that. Here's where you enter the start square, a slightly different, slightly unusual looking route in. I think that definitely works for the area. And if we're in the start square, there's probably an asset around here that we should take a closer look at. And would you believe it? There is one right there. Now, this is a brand I've not heard of because it's not my part of the world. TRAYCLE Market&Coffee. What a great looking building though. This has got that real period cladding on the outside. Now, I don't think this was the United States. I did read it when I first looked at it about, I don't know, a week ago. I think this is out in the east. I could be wrong. I could be very, very wrong. Probably am. But it's what a great looking building. And the sign outside the front, that is a prop that you can place by hand yourself. Anyway, factoids, because factoids. Speaking of the east, the yo-yo originated in the Philippines, where it was used as a weapon in hunting. Now, using a yo-yo as a weapon, I mean, I can see the good sides and I can see the bad sides. I mean, certainly it does have its ups and downs, doesn't it? I'll just give you a moment to spit your coffee. your TRAYCLE Market&Coffee by Koma. Koma, brilliant. As always, keep them coming, my friend. Right, so Littlevalley by Angel 2208. Where are we gonna get? Oh, I mean, this river. I don't mind the marshy areas on the edge, but no, where are we going to find a decent screenshot for this? Because there's not even anything we can work with. The hills, maybe work with the river. I'll bring it back here. We'll look up the river. Anyway, what do you think of today's map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen. It will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple or a Patreon account. But what do I think of today's map? Well, it's different. Definitely that. The aesthetics on this one make this map stand out. Unfortunately, not really for the right reasons. It doesn't quite work. And for that, I've got to go 2 stars, but I want to go at the top end of 2 stars. It's very close to being a 3-star map for me. Detailing, I don't see really that much wrong with it. We've got 1 or 2 encroaching trees. We've got some good basic standards. I don't think we've pushed to the next level, but the networking is pretty strong. So I'm going to go 3 stars. I'll go right down the middle. I'm going to go just a slab underneath middle 3. A gameplay potential. Do you know what? It's actually quite a pleasingly playable map. There's no real enticement. It doesn't really grab you and say, you've got to play me because I look so good. So it can't quite squeeze into 4 stars, but I'm going to go for a medium-high 3. I like the idea of taking those fields and then buying them plot by plot within a standard 9-tile game. Littlevalley by Angel 2208. That is, you know, it's just good to see a map that's just a bit different sometimes, and it's far from a bad map. And just because I don't like the aesthetics on that map doesn't mean that you can't, and just grab the map anyway and do a build that really works for you. Certainly going to work for a lot of the base players, the ones that like a big flat buildable space with an interesting river system. You've got that going on there. Anyway, if you're still here, you're part of the 20 and out elites. Use the word of the day to score yourself some population points just for fun into the comments. And we'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. And it's going to be Saturday, so it might be quirky.